Good evening, Hawks fans, and welcome back to the Atlanta Sports District. I'm your host, Russell Spence, coming to you directly after a 125 to 116 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers. This was a really wonderful game. 6 wins in a row for the Atlanta Hawks. That is something I love to get to say after this game. Really wonderful form as of recently, and hopefully we can continue it as our next few opponents are all lottery teams. So hopefully we can continue to get some good wins built up, our record continue to move in a positive direction, and get everything really free-flowing in the right way. Tonight was a really wonderful win, not only because of what it did for us in the standings. Again, Philadelphia is ahead of us in the standings, so getting a win over them helps us make that push towards getting a lot of playoff experience, something we desperately need as a young team. But also, it helps with just being able to see us have resiliency. We start the game off very poorly in the first quarter. Tons of turnovers, really terrible defense. But we, stayed the course. We fought through these really difficult problems we were having, and we found ways to get it done. And I'll talk about some of those things that we did. But overall, I thought it's just a great sign of maturity that we were able to go into tonight's game, start so poorly, and find a way to fix the problems that we were having and to take it to the next step, take it to the next level, and really fight through those things and win this game pretty handily. I mean, I know it was only a 9-point victory in the end, but we really took the game over and had a pretty easy victory late. It was not in question for the last maybe 4 or 5 minutes, really. I mean, there were times where it was like they could do something and come back, but the probability was quite slim. So we're going to first talk about the offense and defense. So offensively tonight, again, the first quarter was really rough, mainly because of the turnovers. But what we were able to do is mitigate those turnovers and throughout the rest of the game and take what we were, giving them in terms of easy free offense away. We were able to stop giving them such perfect little runouts and things like that. And the second we did that was the catalyst for taking the game back over. We stopped turning it over, giving them free points. All of a sudden, they start giving us free points because they're not rotating. They're not playing solidly. They're not a very good team. And so when you made them be a good team, it did not go well for them. Let's just say that. And so, that to me says we're a really talented team. If all you have to do is say, stop turning it over, just focus, just play under control more, the talent level that's on this roster, you just say, stop doing that one thing, that really small, just take care of the ball, don't turn it over. All of a sudden, we're making shots like crazy. We're getting tons of assists. We're dunking on people's face because we're that talented that when you give us the opportunities, just not turning the ball over, we take those opportunities and we run with them. And that's what happened tonight, and that's what led us to having such a wonderful offensive output. Defensively, we were really bad in the first quarter. Really bad. Some of that was because of the turnovers, giving them easy points, but also we were just not locked in, not focused. At the start of the second quarter, we have a lineup that we've had the last couple of games that's been Mo and Zach on the floor together to start the second quarter. And I think that's been a huge catalyst for the second quarter on being good defensively because it's so intense defensively with those guys on the floor that we really just ramp it up after that because I think it energizes the rest of the team. And they say Mo just got a huge, crazy chase down block, or Zach just got an amazing steal, and I want to do stuff like that too. And so the energy just starts rolling. All of a sudden, it takes over. And so that's really exciting. The defense was really fantastic for the rest of the game, and it's actually been the number one defense statistically since the All-Star break in the entire NBA. And so I have some thoughts of why that's happening, and we'll talk about those in the player-by-player section. But just putting it out there, it could get better. We could play a little bit better lineups, and the defense could even improve past this point, and that is scary for the NBA to think about how good this defense really could get around a really talented offensive roster. That should scare a lot of people not named Hawks fans. So, moving into the player-by-player section, Gabe Vincent played tonight. He only played in the first half, 4 minutes. No points on one shot, 1 of 1 from 3. He had 1 assist, but had 2 turnovers, didn't record a steal or a block, and was minus 11. He had a lot of turnovers to only be in the game for 4 minutes. He was a big problem about the offense in the first quarter, and he got yanked pretty quick. I think that when Gabe is playing, if he's playing, it should be against a team that has a good backup guard on offense. So, like, for instance, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they have Aaron Wiggins, they have AJ Mitchell, these backup guards that are good offensive, like ball handlers, distributors. He should guard those guys. And that would make him very, very valuable when we play them. But when you're playing the Sixers, who their backup guards tonight were Trenton Watford and Cameron Payne, you don't really need Gabe to really shut those guys down. Other players can do that. And so that's what I look at and say, like, we should go team by team. Do we need Gabe tonight? If we're playing a team that's got an AJ Mitchell or an Aaron Wiggins, yes. Do not guard those guys with Corey Kispert. But if we're not playing a team that has that guy, they're expected to play Campaign or Kyle Lowry or Trenton Watford, maybe he doesn't play that game because he really doesn't give you anything unless he's making that really positive impact defensively. So that's kind of my thoughts on how Gabe's been playing. Moving on, we're going to talk about Mo Gay. So Mo, I feel pretty bad for, honestly. He's really, 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 really good. But he also plays behind a guy named Jalen Johnson, who's also really, 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 really good, just more so. And so he is not going to get a ton of minutes as long as we continue to only play Jalen at the 4. That's the reason I want to play Jalen at the 3, is to allow Mo to play more. But he only played 9 minutes tonight. He had 2 points on 1 of 2 shooting. He didn't shoot a 3. He had 2 rebounds, no assists, no turnovers, only 1 foul. Did have a huge, massive, get up off your seat block and finish minus 3. But that minus 3 isn't really storytelling because he played on the same minutes when Gabe Vincent was on the floor. And so, his other stints were a plus 8. It was just that stint with Gabe Vincent turning the ball over on every time he touched it was a minus 11. And so he really played well. I mean, he is a real dog and has a skill set that 1 of 5 people maybe in the entire world defensively have. And so I would be looking to play him a lot more because I talk a lot about unreplicable players, people who can't be replicated. He is one of them. You can't find guys like that just sitting on the street that can play defense like he can. And so, yeah, just give him more minutes. He's playing so well. Moving on, we're going to talk about Corey Kispert. So Corey played 14 minutes. He had 7 points on 3 of 7 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3. He had 2 rebounds, no assists, no turnovers, did have 3 fouls, but didn't record a steal or a block, and finished minus 3. Corey, honestly, the defense was pretty fine. He didn't shoot the ball super well. He was on the floor with that Gabe Vincent lineup, as we've said. That did not go well. But the rest of the time, he was able to kind of mitigate that and was generally in net 0 today. He really has been struggling at times, and then at times has been really playing well. I talked about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hiding It. And so tonight, I thought we got more Dr. Jekyll than we got Hyde. And so I enjoy that. Again, I think that you would probably pick him over Gabe if there's nobody for Gabe to defend. If there is someone for Gabe to defend, then I would pick Gabe over him. And that's pretty much as simple as it gets in my brain. So moving on, we're going to talk about Jock Landale. Jock played 19 minutes. He had 7 points on 2 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3. He had 1 rebound, no assists, no turnovers, 2 fouls, didn't have another stat, and finished minus 5. Jock struggled a little bit tonight, but I wouldn't worry about it because this is the kind of team that really gives Jock Landale fits. I talk about it on the podcast a good bit, but Jock's kind of thing is that he's really big and strong. And so he has a propensity to I'm going to shove you under the rim, and I'm going to throw my hand up, catch it, and I'm going to lay it in, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, when they have a Dim Bona and they have Andre Drummond, you can't really do that. They don't let you do that. They're too big and strong. And so this is kind of a team that's built in a lab to make Jock Landale have some struggles. But he played well enough, spread the floor, didn't turn the ball over. It made it where we were fine in his minutes. It didn't absolutely cripple us to have him on the floor tonight. And that's all you can ask for when a team is literally built to stop your strengths. Maybe it's okay that he was a little bit underwater tonight, but he kept us afloat. That's all that matters. Moving on, we're going to talk about Zachary Richase. Now this, people have been talking about Zach, and I am going to defend him tonight because he had 22 minutes. He scored 8 points on 3 of 5 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3, had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 turnover. A couple of those rebounds were hugely important rebounds against some of their best offensive rebounders on the defensive end. We really played pretty bad in terms of rebounding in tonight's game, but Zach got some absolutely key rebounds that helped us. And again, the efficiency was great. But that's not what made him amazing tonight. What made him amazing tonight was that he had 3 steals and 1 block and shut down every single person that was in his path. He played so insanely fantastic defensively. I could not have been happier with his defensive output. And so when I see this, one thing that I look at is people don't understand what he's going to be. They want him to be like Anthony Edwards, first overall pick. That's not Zach. Zach is going to be one of the most valuable assets in the NBA because he's going to be an extremely long, almost 6'11" player who can lock down anybody on the whole court and also is skilled offensively, and we're going to work on his confidence so he scores just a little bit more. I think at his peak, what he's going to be is a guy that is so insanely good defensively and scores like 17 points a game with great efficiency and never turns the ball over and gives you everything you want from your wing with absolutely none of the hassle of having to give him a ton of shots. That is what we want from Zach, and that is what he's on the trajectory to do. So people who are not happy about the first overall pick, I can understand. My first guy in that class was Stephon Castle. I thought that Stephon Castle was amazing at UConn. I watched every minute of his UConn career. It didn't matter. I knew what they were going for with Zach, and what they were going for is exactly what I just said, and it's exactly the trajectory he is on. And it's an extremely valuable and honestly one of the most valuable assets in basketball is to have that long wing who can stop anybody and can score at an extraordinarily efficient clip. And that's what Zach is going to be. So it's fantastic stuff from Zach tonight. Really excited about his future. Moving on to the starters, we're going to talk about Onyeka Okongwu. Onyeka played 29 minutes. He had 10 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 1 of 1 from 3, had 6 rebounds, 5 assists, only 1 turnover, 2 steals, no blocks, but that's fine, and finished plus 14 in the game. The starters all had amazing plus minuses, but I thought the catalyst for us stopping turning the ball over tonight was Onyeka Okongwu. The Philadelphia 76ers, as I said, have 2 giants in their center rotation. But they're 2 giants who are not going to come out to the three-point line. So their guards were up and pressuring us like crazy. They were in our face. They were making life really difficult for our guards to get into any sort of action. So what do? We said, well, they're not going to pressure at the three-point line with their centers, so we're going to run some hub options with Onyeka. We brought Onyeka up, and he ran a lot of the stuff that went on. Dribble handoffs, some flare screens, some stuff like that that allowed him to get the ball and distribute it in a way where we could run very high effective offense. That to me is all we needed. He only scored 10 points, but he played amazing because he gave us the release of that pressure we needed to be able to run our offense with drastic efficiency. And that was a beautiful thing to watch. And it's something that only Onyeka could have given us tonight. Jock Landale is not good enough at passing to do that. Mo couldn't have done that. It's something that he is able to give us that a lot of the other people aren't. And in the draft, that's one of the things I look at. That's the reason I like Donovan Clingan when he was coming out. I really loved his passing. That's the reason I'm big on Young Hansen. I think that he's going to be a very good player once he works a little bit and understands the American game a little bit more. I'm very bullish on Ade Mara. He can really pass. That's an extremely, extremely valuable thing to have from your center position, where it's like, oh, our guards tonight can't really get the ball across half court because they are more athletic. They're really hounding us. They're really pressuring us. Okay, we're going to give it to our center, and he's going to run everything, and it's not going to matter. We're still going to have efficient offense, and you can't stop it. That was really wonderful. Great job by Onyeka tonight. Moving on, we're going to talk about Dyson Daniels. So Dyson played 35 minutes. He had 15 points on 7 of 10 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3. He had 9 rebounds, 4 assists, only 2 turnovers, did have 2 steals, and finished plus 14. Defense was amazing. Offense was very efficient. Made a 3, which was big. And for over the last maybe week and a half, the 3 has looked better. He has been having more arc, more backspin. The elbows looked in a good place. He looks more on balance. To me, I look at it and say, this is a shot that is changing in terms of the components of the shot. And that is really, really great to hear, in my opinion. Because when the components change, the shot can change. And so when I'm looking forward to what's coming for Dyson Daniels, I think if he can get this shot to work, and again, both tonight had good arc. One was long, but had good arc and banked in. And one was actually pretty nice judge of power, but didn't have the right, left, right. I think he flicked his hand a little bit from looking back on it. But he had good backspin on it, had good arc, and he was on balance. And so if that continues to happen, more shots will go in. And if more shots go in, that dude is like a Gary Payton first ballot Hall of Famer, sign the check kind of player. That's what we can get from Dyson Daniels. And that, to me, is his next step in progression. If he can shoot, he goes from being Tony Allen to Gary Payton. And that is a huge step up and literally could solidify him as a Hall of Famer. That's the kind of importance that jump shot can give him. Great job working on it, and wonderful play tonight. Moving on, we're going to talk about CJ McCollum. He played 32 minutes. He had 17 points on 6 of 13 shooting, but only 1 of 5 from 3. I look at that, and again, I say, if you're not making threes, just score well on your 2s. Attack. Have a great attacking mentality in the 2-point, area and score efficiently that way, and he did. And that, to me, says, veteran. He's a veteran scorer. He's going, my 3-pointer's not making, I'm not making tonight, just not my night to hit threes. I'm a pump fake. When a guy comes out on me, I'm going to drive, and I'm going to score with my 2-point makes because you still can't stop me. I'm CJ McCollum. Thank you. He also had 3 rebounds, 7 assists, did have 6 turnovers. But again, a lot of those were in the first quarter before we could get into this offense like I just talked about with Onyeka. He finished with a steal and finished game best, plus 19. CJ really, really played well tonight, but I want to talk about the number one thing that I think has helped our team to have a good offense and a good defense since the All-Star break. CJ McCollum has been picking up 94 feet. And that, to me, is a huge, huge development because a lot of people don't understand why it's so valuable. It's because it takes longer to get the ball across half court when you're having to cross. Now I finally have gotten across half court, but instead of having 20 seconds to shoot, I have 16. That makes it where it's very, very difficult to get into your sets and run multiple actions because you don't have time to. That is remarkably valuable. Where players like Jose Alvarado and Miles McBride for the Knicks, they're able to give very, very positive output in terms of their defensive play when at the end of the day, they're bad defenders in the half court, but they just make life hard getting the ball up the floor, and so they're able to have positive defensive output while they're on the floor. If we can start having the positive defensive output while we have CJ McCollum on the floor, we will have one of the best defenses you've ever seen because he would be like our worst defender Not even close. And he's giving of his body, he's giving of himself, and he's making a huge difference with that. And it's just a wonderful thing to watch because when he is making, he drew an 8-second count tonight. That is so rare to have happen in an NBA game, but he was the one who kind of sparked it. He was up in their grill. He was not letting them get the ball across half court easily. And then the defense around him was able to be positive and good because of that. That is really, really just a great development. And it's been happening every single game since the All-Star break. And since the All-Star break, the Atlanta Hawks have the #1 defense in basketball. Huge development there and could be something that really helps us moving forward and in the playoffs. So, next we're going to talk about Nall. So Nall played 36 minutes. He had 24 points on 8 of 15 shooting, 4 of 9 from 3. Wonderful efficiency. 2 rebounds, 6 assists. Did have 4 turnovers, but again, a lot of those came in the first quarter. He had 1 steal and finished plus 11. Nall has been fantastic all year. Offensively, very efficient. Needs to work on his passing a little bit, but that's a thing he can continue to work on in the offseason. Probably the best signing I've ever seen for the Atlanta Hawks in terms of free agency. He has been everything that we need him to be. He's been wonderful. Keep it up. Really fantastic work. And lastly, we're going to talk about Jalen Johnson. Jalen played 39 minutes. That's a lot. But he played that many because we literally had to have him on the floor because he was that good. He had 35 points on 12 of 19 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, did have 5 turnovers, but again, a lot of those happened in the first quarter. Had 2 steals, was locked in defensively, and was plus 12. But most of all, the thing that was the greatest thing that we got from this game was Jalen Johnson was a closer tonight. That is one of the most valuable things you can have as a closer. He took the game over in the fourth quarter. He basically said, give me the ball, and then I'm going to rip it. I'm going to go downhill. When I get to the rim, I'm going to lay it up, and there's nothing you can do about it. And the next time on the floor, I'm going to catch it. I'm going to rip it. I'm going to go downhill. I'm going to shoot a layup, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then the next time, I'm going to catch it. I'm going to rip it. I'm going to go downhill, and I'm going to dunk on the entire city of Philadelphia. I hope you like the taste of leather. And it made it where they were not in the game anymore. The game for about the last 4 minutes was formalities because Jalen said, we're going to win now. And then did it. That is an invaluable trait. And again, if he can learn to play like that for the entire game, it's not just the sky's the limit. It's not just the space is the limit. It's not even the heavens are the limit. I don't know what the limit is for Jalen Johnson if he plays like that for the entire game. Because he's one of the most skilled players in basketball. He's making a high level of his jump shots. He is one of the most athletic human beings to ever walk the face of the planet. He could be a top anything player that I've ever seen if he plays like that all the time. So do it. You could do it. Please do it. I would love to watch the Hawks have a player that is exorbitantly beyond our wildest dreams that we could have ever imagined when drafting Jalen Johnson. I would love for us to have that player. So, just do it, Jalen. I know you can. I believe in you. We all believe in you. Get a little bit in better shape and be able to play like that all game long because it was wonderful to watch. Moving forward, the Atlanta Hawks play the Dallas Mavericks Tuesday at 7:30. Again, our next 3 games are against teams that are in the play-in or in the lottery. And then we've got the Magic after that who are having some interesting issues with Paolo Banchero. And so hopefully we can continue a nice form and nice run and continue to climb up the standings like we have been, continue to play very well. Again, 6th win in a row. That is wonderful to say. Feels really great in my mouth. 6 wins in a row. Awesome stuff. All that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe here on the podcast. Hit me up on all the socials. Let me know what you're thinking about the Hawks are playing. I think about a month ago, the vibes were not like this. I was not happy to turn on the broadcast. But right now, man, am I happy to turn on the broadcast and watch the Atlanta Hawks play the way they've been playing. Awesome stuff. Fantastic basketball. I really couldn't have enjoyed tonight's game more. It may be the first quarter if it had been a little better, but after that, we took it to my least favorite team in the entire NBA. It was awesome. All that to be said, I hope you have a great day.